Hello and welcome back to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. This is Season 16, Episode 6. I am your host, Dr. Brent Janogan. Tonight, I have truly someone special, Dr. Reggie Mims. Dr. Reggie Mims is from Bainbridge, Georgia. He's an alumni of the Fort Valley State University, where he majored in pre-med and biology. He then went to Life University, where he became a doctor of chiropractic. He was also the secretary, president, and Eastern Regional Representative for SAPCA, which we're going to dive into a little bit tonight to hear about his experience as a leader in that organization. He was also the chaplain and the head of philanthropy for Delta Sigma Chi Chiropractic Professional Fraternity, Lambda chapter at Life University. He then graduated Life University and became an associate doctor at the Source Chiropractic in Berkeley in the Bay Area, where he currently serves the people in the Bay Area with full light, love, and just amazingness that he brings to the table. Dr. Mims, welcome to the show.
Appreciate that, my brother. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Hey, it's such an honor to have you, bro. Before we hop into that conversation, I am gonna we're gonna roll our amazing sponsors and have a word from them that put on the show and make it possible.
Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to TotalClinicSolutions.com now. True Chiro, helping chiropractors explode their practices and save more lives by shifting the perception of what they do from neck and low back pain to being about the brain and nervous system, leading to increased retention, more referrals, higher case averages, but most importantly, better patient outcomes for more than just neck and back pain. For more information, check out the link below, truechiro.org. Again, that's truechiro.org.
And we're back.
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Reggie? Dude, it's so good to have you here, my man. You've always been somebody in my life that's been profound. You've been able to speak into people. You've been able to hold space for people and just be there to listen, be an ear, be a confidant. You were my chaplain there for a while in the fraternity, and I got to look up to you. You were a facilitator. You worked through training. You were doing the KTC on campus as a student. You were going to seminars. You were doing the SAPCA thing. Bro, tell us, as that transition from student to doctor, all the skill sets you built as a student, how did that build you up and how did that prepare you for practice?
It was mostly just giving me the confidence to know that I belong. I know that's one thing docs tend to harp on us as students is, you're new or you don't know anything, but I know a lot, maybe as far as the business side of whatever I'm doing, but as far as me serving people and me doing the most important part of, I feel like as a chiropractor, I know a lot, and I know I can provide a lot to people, whatever it was that I gained in chiropractic school. So I think that was my most important thing of learning that I belong here. And I know my first week or so of practicing, or my first week or so in the office here in the Bay, I was nervous and didn't have that confidence in a sense because I felt quote unquote new. But I can say as time been going on, it's been about 3 months since I've been out here. I've been telling myself like, yo, I belong here and I know I do. And I'm providing some great care because people are telling me. So I think the most important part of me doing all of that was knowing that I belong and I had the confidence to not be afraid to mess up in a sense. But I know I belong here.
I love that because I went through that same transition, and it was, you're the new guy. As a student, you built the confidence of being a student for 4 years. You're a student leader on campus, student leader off campus, and you get some swagger about you because you know something. And then you get out here and you lose, like, I feel like you lose that confidence initially. It's still there because you still know something, but it's new. It's a new environment. You got to adapt to it. You got to figure out. And for me, I felt like I went through like an inferiority complex where I didn't feel like I was enough.
Okay.
And it was just like I would show up like, well, this guy's been here for X amount of years doing this, and I'm the new guy. So how am I supposed to carry the confidence that he does? And so like that was like a personal quest for me. Did you go through anything similar?
And yes, I actually did. I know when we first got here, and I've been getting my own patient base, but when we first got here, we were adjusting other docs' patients, in a sense. And that's one thing that was kind of bothering me or playing in my mind was, this person is going to be expecting the level of care that their doc give them. And here am I new out here. They already expecting me to be new and expecting me not to know as much as their regular primary doctor. And I think that affected my adjusting a lot because me trying to emulate or be somebody that I wasn't. And that's been my learning phase of me just owning my power and me knowing that maybe I can't provide what other people provide, but I know I have my something that I give that I provide that nobody else can give. So it's been in that phase of me owning that more, and that's when my confidence came because I started realizing my power and realizing that I don't have to be nobody. I don't have to emulate nobody. I don't have to try to be what this person is to somebody else. All I gotta do is be myself, and it's gonna echo, it's gonna vibrate always because it's to the people who's supposed to be. So that was my learning phase in that. Just like I said, not worrying about trying to emulate or compete or be as good as the next doc, but just being myself. That was me learning my power and owning who I am.
I love that because it in volume 18, BJ talks about the 5 different types of chiropractors and the different types of chiropractic adjustments they give, and you said
Hmm.
that something you offer that something, and what you offer is only uniquely yours. That's the artist. That's the art of chiropractic. It is if I want Dr. Mims, I got to go to Dr. Mims to get Dr. Mims. You know, and learning how to hone that and build your craft, but also be confident in what you're providing. That was something I struggled initially, putting your spine on somebody that has a high degree of scoliosis. We see a lot of scoliosis in
Hmm.
the office, and you touch somebody that's got a 30 plus degree scoliosis, you're like, coming out as a student, you've never seen nothing like that. And so when somebody's back is all kicked up on one side with high ribs, and you're looking at it going, well, how do I adjust this? Well, like that's part of the practice. That's why it's called
It's part
practice.
of the yeah.
So you build those skills, you build that confidence, and it sounds like you found something, bro. It sounds like you're falling into place, and you're serving. Because I know whenever you were a student, you had some of the best hands on campus, hands down.
And like I said, that was part of the humbling phase because when I got here, my first couple of adjustments, I ain't gonna lie, they wasn't its best, but it just because it wasn't those nice, smooth spines we see all the time in school. These are people who going through real life, like you said, people who got real situations going on, and so me having to, like I say, rebuild that confidence. And this ain't just no A-quarter DC student who get adjusted every other Tuesday. This is somebody who really experiencing real traumas and real stressors in real life, and I'm having to bring a different level of connection and a different level of, like I say, knowing exactly how to adjust these people and not just knowing this flying Sabbath don't always work. But having to really take my time and really analyze what this person need in this moment. So it was definitely a humbling experience getting out here because, like I said, like you just said, it's people going through real life situations, not just the student that we adjusting that getting adjusted by everybody. To be honest. So yeah, it was a very hard learning curve, but needed.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that there's no better way to get it than just jumping into the flame. You gotta dunk yourself into the forge, and you gotta enjoy being there. So you talked about having to be able to be there for your patient, find out, spend a little more time with them, figure out what they need. And that's something I felt like you've always been really great at, is holding space and being able to be there for people, being able to listen, but also you've always had a profound way with words that uh, you can really touch somebody's heart with your words, because like you speak from experience, speak from love, bro. So what what how do you bring that space to the table?
Um, just how I live life. I just understand we all live in this same shared experience. We may not all be going through the exact same stuff, the exact same traumas, walk the exact same life, but I know that as human beings, as just some souls on this earth, we all going through what we go through. We all fighting some type of battle, and I understand that. And so I'm able to, and that's one thing I'm working on, just not always acknowledging everybody else, but I'm acknowledging that I know people are going through stuff, regardless if they're talking about it or they're showing it on their faces or whatever. So me being able to just slow people down, I think, and especially in today's society, we're always moving here, 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 and don't have time to really sit down and really integrate and process what's going on in our life. So I harp on that and telling people just honor yourself, whether it's just 10 minutes you on this table, this 10, 15 minutes you on this table. Just take your time and take this is your time. Like, I tell people that every time they get on my table, take your time. This is your time. And a lot of times people don't realize that we can take control of our time. We don't have to always feel like we're rushing from one location to the next location. So if you don't have no other time to kind of just relax and let your day kind of come here, this is your time. You paid for this time, so honor it. But yeah, that's just me understanding that. Like I said, we all just going through a walk of life, and I'm cherishing that because it's an experience to walk this earth and live, and so it's gonna be okay. And I want people to know that it's all gonna always be okay. You just gotta have fun with it, and it's hard, but have fun with it.
Hey, I think we were just talking about it. You know, it requires effort. Um, we dove into it a little bit right before this, but life isn't necessarily always about the destination. We set the destination, then we get so asphyxiated on staring at the destination and not enjoying the journey. I always think of, whenever I hear that analogy, like if you get on a roller coaster, you're so, you know, stimulated by the roller coaster, you're focused on it turning left, right, and going upside down, and like you're like, man, this thing's fast. I'm gonna get off of it as soon as I can because it's scary. And then once you're done, it's like you've done missed the journey because you've reached the destination, but you haven't took the time to enjoy the journey to get there and the effort it took to get to the destination. And that, I think that's really the most beautiful part. Like going through school, we go through the journey of school, and we get the experience that's going to ultimately allow us to walk out and practice. No matter where we go in life, it's a continuation, but we just go through different chapters. And school is one chapter. Your first couple of years of
Hmm.
practice is another chapter. Your next couple of years is another chapter. And uh, so you were the president, you were the secretary, and you were the regional representative for SAPCA. Tell us a little bit about SAPCA. How'd you get those positions, and why you wanted to be a leader in that organization?
Um, how did I get that position? To be honest, I can't remember that part. I know one of my closest friends, Dr. Chris Benson. I believe he was forming an e-board at the time. He was the president, and he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, you want to be my secretary?" And I don't know, I'm always down for whatever person. And with SALCA, it stands for Student American Black Chiropractic Association.
Mhm.
I'm always wanting to do something that's going to better, my people and better our place in anything of in this nature. So I was like, sure. And so started as secretary, did my thing as secretary. Chris, he did his time. It was next time to serve, and I don't know. I can be president. I knew I could. I was president, and then my served my time and Eastern Regional Rep, and so I just kind of did the ladder. I went up each step, but I just felt like I wanted to contribute. That's one thing I did. I won't say regret it, but that's one thing I hate that I didn't do in undergrad, that I wasn't more involved. So that's kind of I made that my mission when I got to life, was to just be more involved and be committed to something instead of just going to school. So that's kind of how I got in there. And like I said, I just felt like Southco was me. It was a community, to be honest. Because I ain't gonna lie, when I first got to school, I kind of felt like I had to be more suit and tie, doctors all pristine or whatever. But
Mhm.
Southco was the first group that showed me, as far as chiropractically, it's different. But you can let your hair down. You can be a professional, amazing doc and still be who you are. You don't have to confine yourself or change who you are just to fit this whatever paradigm what they thought doctors are supposed to look like. But then I thought like that's just chiropractic as a whole. We different species as when it comes to doctors. So,
Mhm.
but I can definitely say Saka showed me that first, for sure.
Oh yeah, and you guys had what, the gala? You had whole events that happened. Like it was such a beautiful thing to see. As so many people came together and celebrated and just built up this profession and continued to just ultimately pour into each other so we could all become better and move forward to help more people in the world just become more aware of what chiropractic can do and how it can impact and change their lives.
Hmm. And I think that's just what it's all about. Our game would just be to bring out everybody. I love because most time it usually be when our regional be, so it'd be people from all different schools, and just can kind of see the beauty of it when we just all come together. Because I know one thing we always said in life was what it was, collaboration over competition or something like that. It's not about competing to fight for the top, but it's about using our resources and coming together as a family and succeeding as a group instead of having to eat each other just to get, to the top or whatever. So, yeah, it was just a family, and we can celebrate and have fun because this is what we supposed to do.
Bro, I love that because I mean chiropractic, no matter how you look at it, we still are chiropractors. No matter what adverb you want to attach to the beginning of that, like at the end of the day, we're still chiropractors. We still provide chiropractic. We still adjust people. We still remove subluxation from the nervous system. And that conversation has become so diluted over the years. I feel like now this new generation of chiropractors, as we emerge and walk into the world, we're bringing that message with us. We're not allowing that dogma to follow us and
Hmm.
continue to really control the conversation when it comes to chiropractic. We're all coming together and unifying and becoming one heard voice versus several individual voices spouting a bunch
Yes.
of stuff. And it's just it's so powerful that we're walking out and it's everyone says it's um, uh, now is the best time to be a chiropractor.
Uh-huh. That's what I was kept hearing. This is the perfect time to be a chiropractor right now. And like, okay, but to be honest, it is. Everybody's seeking us. I've been looking for a chiropractor. It's all I've been hearing lately when I
uh,
meet people. I've been looking for a chiropractor, so I'm glad I can be of service. That's how I reply.
oh, I love that. I love that. Well, bro, right before we hop into the next topic, I want to run this roll from our amazing sponsors that allow this podcast to happen.
Bet.
Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimagingservices.com.
And we're back. Okay, I want to dive into something real quick because
Okay.
this is something that I felt like you always held a space that was very cultivating for healing. Like everywhere you went, you had this healing energy about you that no matter who it was, you would always spend time with that person and be able to communicate, connect, and as a source, they always say connection over correction, and I hold that true to myself
Of
because
course.
you got to connect to somebody before you can help correct. And so for you, what does healing from the inside out look like? Holding that space and allowing people to heal from the inside out, because I felt like through school you went through such a healing journey and helped so many other people heal from the inside out that you bring that to the table. It's just kind of how you embody energy. So
Hmm.
What's that look like for you? What's healing from the inside out look like?
For me or for the people that's on the table with me? You said for
Both.
me?
Both.
I don't know. Just well, that's a good question. Healing for me from the inside out. Just being able to process what you're going through. Um, that's kind of how I'm able to help people go through what they go through. My whole life I've been dealing with, I always say stress, anxiety. I don't like to say I got depression, but depressive like symptoms. I dealt with that. And I've had to learn how to process that and turn it into something positive, or at least just process it and not become attached to it. I
Mhm.
think we talked about something earlier was like becoming attached to the outcomes. And the outcomes can be whatever. And I was attaching myself to my healing potential. If I didn't get to where I thought I was supposed to be, I'm defective or I'm not right or whatever it was. So just learning how to give myself grace and understanding and sympathy in whatever situation I was going through was most important. So that's kind of what I try to be for people. Like I said, I just know people going through stuff, and I know people have regrets. People got hurt. People got trauma. People got whatever, and I just want us to stop beating ourselves up about just going through life. Um, yeah, so inside out healing, like I said, just being able to give yourself more grace and understanding and sympathy. I know one analogy I give people, I do positive psychology as well. And I know one analogy it was if your friend failed a test, you would be, oh, it's okay. You're going to pat him on the back. You're going to get it next time. But what if you would have felt that same test? You would have beat yourself up. You would have shamed yourself, and I should have studied harder, or I should have did this. So it's like, why would you give this person this grace and this understanding and this all pep talk, but you beat yourself down about feeling that same exact test? So it's just learning how to give that same sympathy and love that you would give somebody else in a bad situation to yourself, and just learning through the process and what you're going through. So that's healing from the inside for me.
Bro, that was amazing because I felt like that's so relatable. Um, a lot of times you'll tell someone, "Oh, it's okay. You're going through this. It's going to be better." Everything's falling together. It's not falling apart.
Hmm.
But whenever it's your story that's falling apart, it's not falling together. It's falling apart, and it's like it's mass chaos, and it's never good enough. And I didn't do this, and I didn't do that. And you beat
Uh-huh.
yourself up, and that's so detrimental to your state of healing. The stories we tell ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves. It's the science shows the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's you up here, the stories we tell ourselves, the narratives that we create, that ultimately
Uh-huh.
is going to dictate how our thoughts program themselves to run. And if you're constantly beating yourself up, that's just on loop. And it's that no wonder you're never good enough. No wonder you can't ever do anything right.
Uh-huh.
Yourself up. That ain't healing.
So yeah, that's not healing at all. That's like I say, just putting yourself through this loop cycle on repeat. So yeah, that's just what healing look like. I mean, you have to learn how to break that, and it's not easy. It's a pattern, and it's learning how to break them negative thought patterns and them always reverting back to what you will revert back to previously in previous situations. So that's what I've been at. Because life is, I always say, life is like it's a spiral. It's not a circle, but it's a spiral. And you're gonna continuously go on through the same situations until you do something differently. And like you go to the next level. That's all it is to me, like a video game. You all go to the next level, but you have to play the same. You gotta play level one. You gotta play level one continuously until you do the right things to beat it. And once you beat it, it just off to the next level. But I feel like that's life. You're gonna continuously go through maybe not the exact same situation, but you're gonna meet similar situations in the past, and you're gonna have to make a decision. Am I gonna handle like I always handle it, or am I gonna do something differently this time? And that differently is when you break like you say, you break that pattern of just going through the same stuff. So I believe in that. You gotta break the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It's all how people always say it's ones and zeros, or it's a matrix or whatever you want to call it. It has a repetition to it, And so you have to see that, and it's just nature. You got to understand nature has a balance, and being able to see that and also being able to move with it is the most important part about life to me.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that it's a spiral because uh, I believe we know that the world is a series of spirals, the Fibonacci sequence. It's like the
Hmm.
golden circle, and everything's equated in balance. The major premise, the first chiropractic principle, that gives us the information and tells us exactly, everything's exactly proportional to its requisites, and everything's always 100%. It's always moving exactly how it's supposed to. It's just we've told ourselves it's not, and we've started to
Hmm.
beat ourselves up, and we're lowering our capabilities of moving forward. It's like nature's always at 100%. It's like if you're having a bad day, go spend 10 minutes in nature, walking through nature, just observing it, and you're going to come out so much better.
Charge you up.
And you got to go with the flow. It really is. You beat yourself up, and you're holding yourself back because you're not enjoying the moment. You're not grateful. Uh, Things aren't good enough, but they're exactly where they're supposed to be. And a lot of times we want more, and that's because XYZ reason. We can put whatever reason you want to attach to
Uh-huh.
the individual. But if you're grateful for just what you have and what you're doing now, that's going to continue to expand and become more abundant. And then before you know it, the things that you've been searching for are the things you're doing every single day and is in your life. And I think that's a part of the golden circles, the Fibonacci sequence. You start running those patterns. And like you were talking about, you come up to that point whenever, do I want to do this again this way or do I want to change it? I consider those challenges or tests where the universe is testing you. Hey, I know you did it a little different last time and didn't get the same result, but I'm just gonna squeak this one in there and see if you do it again. Because did you really learn that lesson or not?
That's true. That's true. I find myself in places where I thought I've gotten through this lesson, but like you said, I think it's just to really test you. Did you really learn, or like I said, did you just skate through? Or did
Mm,
you really learn your lesson? So I agree with that. It's been situations where I thought I beat this level of the game,
yep.
but it's like 1.5. You ain't beat it yet.
So
It's 1.5. So I agree with that. I can agree with that.
it's kind of like playing one of those video games where like level 20 you fight the boss, and then level 45 you fight the same boss that's leveled up.
That's life. That's how life works. And video games is life to me. I play video games my whole life. I see a lot in games, sports, games, but yeah, so I agree with that. I can agree with that.
So you're out at the source right now, and
Uh-huh.
you've been out there for what, 3 months?
3 months.
3 months. How's that treating you? I see you posting on social media. You're adjusting. Your videos are looking amazing. Your content's great on social media. Um, where are we going? Like where's Dr. Mims in 2 years? And where are you driving towards? Because you've always inspired me with your visions.
Yeah, in 2 years, my goal is to have my own. I'm out here right now just honestly learning what I can learn. It's been kind of cool because the doctor that I'm working for, um, he's opened up a practice, and I'm basically just working. I ain't gonna say working, but I'm able to see what goes with opening up a practice.
Mhm.
But it's not the stress isn't on me of opening up the practice. All
Right.
I'm doing is marketing. I'm working there, but I'm seeing what it goes into it. So it's been cool having that learning experience of actually being a part of it, but not having the actual fallback and stress of it. To be honest, so I'm seeing a lot on the marketing side. I do want to see more of the business side. I'm saying exactly what it goes into as far as getting people aware of that your practice even gonna be in the area. Because I don't never want to have a practice that just opens and somebody just happen to walk past it. But I want to be people be like, hey, I saw this thing a week ago at such and such, or I've been seeing y'all on Instagram or whatever it is. So just learning what goes inside the getting people aware side. But like I said, I do want to know more the business piece of it. But yeah, so that's my goal in 2 years to have my own practice. Where yet? I can't say. That's to be continued.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been cool. Like I said, just getting my hands on, being in just a whole different space. Not Georgia. I'm a Georgia boy, through and through. It's been in a different space where people are a little bit more health conscious about themselves. Um, but yeah, I can say the most cool part is just being able to witness a practice being open, and also being a part of feeding the streets, feeding the people into what's possible and what's on the way very soon.
That's amazing. I'm inspired because I know that I've been just watching your content. I'm taking notes. It's quality content, man. Like you said, you want to be known not for just walking by the office, but hey, I saw this on Instagram. My buddy sent me this video. I've been looking for a chiropractor, and you guys popped up, and
Hmm.
this is a good fit. It's I'm working through that myself, and I'm working through my own marketing. And in the practice of that, it's you have to be able to figure out your niche, right? You have to figure out who you are first of all. It's always a great place to start. Like, who am I? I feel like you should really start that quest early in school. So by the time you in school and you're actually out in practice, you have an idea of who you are and who you want to serve and how you want to serve. um, I'm going through the process of trying to figure out like who I want to market to, and like as you go through that, like, you got to figure out what story you bring to the table that people are going to connect to. Like for me, being a veteran, it's easy for me to connect to veterans, and so I'm gonna be connecting and building relationships with veterans and veteran-owned businesses. And everyone has their own niche. Everyone has their own market that they can market
Hmm.
to. They just have to be willing to go out and put the effort in of getting uncomfortable and speaking to those people, creating those relationships, uh, cold selling. I knocked on so many doors my first couple of weeks in practice. I was just walking door to door. I was knocking on people's windows in their car in the parking lot. I was walking into businesses and just, I love your business. How
Gotta
can I help?
grind. Gotta grind.
You got to, and it's those types of efforts that I feel that set you aside from the people that only do the social media marketing, which does phenomenal. It's just the character building skills of going out and doing screening events or going out and doing community events or going to do community
Hmm.
talk. It it allows you just to get more exposure, more repetition and consistency on being available. It's like, how available are you? And how available are you making yourself?
And I think most of that is also just the fact that as humans, we are connected beings. And we live in a big social media age, but I think even with what all that happened with the pandemic and when people were forced to be apart, people have been longing just finding some real cool people that they connect with. And that's why I've been meeting a lot of people out here, just been at regular everyday places, and people just want to talk to somebody or find somebody that's relatable. And I think that's the gift of us being out there in the community. And I think that's one thing we do talk about in the office, is like, where are your people? You should be where your people are. I like basketball. I should be in basketball gyms. I should be wherever my community is. And that's where the people that you would want to work with the most gonna always be at, where you are, where you want to be, and those are people that you draw into your space. So that's just part of the journey. Like I said, just knowing your niche and knowing what you provide or what you would like to provide is also, the important part. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I think a lot of that is just people love meeting people, and regardless of it all, we like connection. That's the most important part. Not through a computer screen, not through phones or social media, but if you got a chance to meet somebody in person and really see their vibe, and I'm gonna call my brother, sister, mom, like, hey, I just met this real cool guy, at freaking whatever, he a chiropractor and he got this and that and that. I think we should really go check him out rather than me just seeing a social media page, which is cool, but it doesn't bring that them feeling who you are and relating to you, and like, I trust this person and I feel safe with this person, and whatever emotions come with actually meeting somebody face to face. So regardless, we humans, and connection is gonna always be what we thrive on.
And you just said something really important that I want to expand a little upon. Trust and safety. you know, what is connection? What does that consist of? It consists of trust and safety. Are you a trusting individual? As you're connecting to a person, you're ultimately developing a relationship of trust. Then you're having to develop a relationship of a safe environment and safety of the individual, because I find a lot of people that I speak to that are new patients or potential new patients, they're
Mm-hmm.
afraid of getting their neck adjusted because they don't think it's safe. I can't tell you how many times I hear, "Oh, I have a bad back. I don't like the neck thing because it scares me," or just a multitude of different. I don't want to call them excuses, but
Uh-huh.
opinions. You know, and building that safety, building the trust, it's so important. And it doesn't have to be projected. It doesn't have to be something that's a sell. It's it's a conversation. Well,
Mm-hmm.
like, why don't you think that's safer? What did you hear? And then, what do you know? It's kind of, again, the connection component of the trust, understanding where the person's coming from and building it from there versus trying to take a person to where you already are and start here. Because not
Mm-hmm.
everyone's ready for this. Not everyone's ready for, the depth of chiropractic principle on day one. That's a day like 5, day 10, a month into practice. And then we can really dive into the specifics of the principle. And a lot of people don't want to know the how. They want to know the why. Like, why do I get my spine adjusted? Like, why do I want to get my spine adjusted? Not necessarily, a specific adjustment to the spine on the left side moves it from left to right, removing, intervertebral tension and like big old the words. Nobody cares.
Uh-huh.
Like being able to convey that, that's really the magic of chiropractic, to be able to connect to a person is being able to educate them without talking to them and talking above them or talking down to them. It's fun.
I tell patients that I'll be doing my exams or whatever, and I get a chance to, just ask them, what their thoughts on chiropractic, and being able to hear what people, I don't say preconceived notions, or just what they know to what chiropractic is. And I would tell them my favorite part about all of this is being able to expound your knowledge. If you know this much, or if you know this much about chiropractic, can we just take it a step
Mm.
further? No matter where you are, whether if it's here, we're gonna bring it here. If you're already in this big field of what chiropractic is, let's even take it further. That's me. So I think that's one of my favorite parts, is just educating and being able to just expand your mind and just what's the possibilities. Like I say, if it's just neck pain, back pain, let's take neck pain, back pain a little further. If it's, I know about it, connection to the nervous system and all that, let's take that a little bit further. So it's that's my coolest. That to me, that's the funnest part. I love that little quick minute, 2 minutes I get to grab a spine and explain chiropractic. And just I'm happy at what we do. I like when people don't know what we do, because it gives me a chance to really show you what's possible. This thing is bigger than neck pain and back pain. And let me show you how and why. So yeah, that's the funnest part to me. For real, I'm excited when they don't know much about chiropractic.
I am too. I always get really excited when I'm like, "Have you ever been adjusted?" I'm like, no, like it's my first time. I'm just like, yes, you're gonna love it. Um, I have a lot of patients that they hear like the saying, once you start getting adjusted, you always have to get adjusted. I'm like, no, you don't have to always get adjusted. I'm like, you want to always get adjusted.
hmm No, it's not something that you. It's a forced thing. They're like, yeah, I have to. I got some friends actually who they love what I do, they respect what I do, but they will not get adjusted because they know once they get adjusted, in their sense, it means they gotta all get adjusted. Like, but you should always want to get adjusted. It ain't just because you started chiropractic care. You need to be adjusted right now. But it's a notion. It's people out here who respect what we do, but they know that once they start the train of chiropractic, they gotta ride the wave and continue that care. So it's still learning. It's still a fight. It's still a fight, whether it's resistance actively or passively. We still got to fight to continue getting people into chiropractic care.
That's okay. It's okay. That healing journey is going to start at some point,
You
And,
got to.
when they're ready, they're going to jump on that train, bro. Well, okay. So tonight we dove into quite a bit. I'm going to recap just a little bit for our listeners. So we started off, we dove into a little bit about where you're from, talking about the history of how you got from where you are to being a chiropractor at the Source in Berkeley. Then we talked about SAPCA. We talked about student American Black Chiropractic Association. We dove into being a leader on campus. But then we talked about some other stuff. We dove into like confidence to belong, which I think was really profound. Being able to find the confidence to be able to feel comfortable belonging, that being, it starts with belong. You have to have confidence to be because you're a being and you have to belong and be comfortable in that space.
Always.
Not being afraid to mess up. We ain't perfect. I'm an Enneagram 1. I'm a perfectionist to the T, the epitome of perfectionism. And I can tell you that I seek failure now more than I ever have because I'm going to grow and learn so much more through the failure than being perfect.
Part of the journey.
Part of the journey, right? It's not the destination. We dove into having time to integrate. And I think that's really important, that not a lot of people, especially when you get in high volume, you don't have that integration process necessarily always available. And giving that person that little bit of time, even if it's 10 minutes, to just slow down, get back in their body, find their breath, reconnect to their breath, and allow that breath to be able to just move through the body, reconnect them to them, and for them to have a better understanding of their awareness, where they are in time and space, and how their body's functioning. We talked about attachment, being attached. And I think that conversation really kind of segues from what we were just talking about into attachment and being attached to your outcomes, not having expectations, and really just staying in a state of ease and flow. That when we get stuck to the attachment portion of the material things that we're doing or the outcomes, we're so worried, that stress, that anxiety, depression starts to show up when we don't reach our goals, and that's just disconnection. That's a lack of detachment from outcomes, and that's a part of the integration process of learning to let go, learning to breathe, learning to find that breath, and ultimately release the tension in the system so we can let go. We talk about treating yourself like you want to treat others, not beating yourself up, not being the bully to yourself, but being the best friend to yourself.
I like that. I like how you put that.
I appreciate you. I appreciate it. I just came in. A little
I
download.
like how you put that. That's
nice. We dove into the Fibonacci sequence. If you're not familiar with that, that's the golden ratio of how everything falls into a specific pattern of perfectness. Then talked about exposure to growth and opening, what that looks like, going through the process of learning how a practice runs as an IC associate. I'm learning the difference of what that looks like in practice, and then ultimately opening multiple practices down the road. Then we talked about going to where your people are. You gotta find your niche. You gotta figure out who your people are. You gotta figure out where they are, and you gotta figure out where you are. Because if you're not going to do the things that you want to do, you're not gonna find your people. Like, you gotta resonate. You gotta create that resonant energy around the things you want to do and build the people in that network that ultimately are going to support you, find loyalty, and they're going to find trust in what you're doing. They're going to find safety in what you're doing, and they're going to want it. And then they're going to tell everyone about it because they got amazing.
yes.
So I feel like that really kind of tied up a lot of that conversation. Ultimately, we got to take it further. I really like what you said. You got to take it further. And you got to expand your mind. You have to be willing to get outside that comfort bubble, put in the effort, find your people, build trust, and just serve people all day, every day. I really want to admonish you because you're doing that, bro. And I really appreciate you. I appreciate you for your time. I appreciate you for your words, your wisdom. Tell the people where can we find Dr. Reggie Mims, and how can we connect? If anyone's got questions and they want to reach out to you, where would they be able to get a hold of you?
Y'all can get a hold of me at Dr. underscore Invader Mims. Something like that. I'll make sure I send it to you so you can add it to the transcript or something like
I,
that, bro. You got me on the spot. I don't know my Instagram by heart, man. Dr. Invader underscore Mims is my Instagram. You can definitely find me on there. Also find me on Facebook at r-jay Mims. That's my nickname, cool nickname, childhood nickname. But you can find me there also. But definitely, I can also say just hit me up on Instagram. We'll make sure I get that to you 'cause I don't remember it by heart right now. I apologize, y'all.
it's all right.
But Instagram will be the best way to keep in contact with me.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up real quick for you. That way we got everything for everybody. Let's see, Reg. Yeah, it is Dr. Invader Mims. That is his Instagram handle. Dr. Mims, Reggie, Snoop. It's always a pleasure, brother. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for pouring into us. Um, Continue to crush it out there in Oakland. I know you are. I know them hands are flying. They're moving every day.
You got to.
The future's bright, brother. Future is bright.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me on. It was special being on. I haven't talked in a minute, so I'm glad getting my voice out here. But I appreciate this from the heart, dog. Thank you for having me on. For real, for real. I hope I gave a good message to whoever listened to this, man. I hope y'all appreciate this.
Hey, that's don't need no hope. That was nothing but nuggets tonight.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Well, it's been such a pleasure and an honor to have you tonight. We will see you soon. I will post your Instagram handle and everything for anybody that wants to get a hold of you. And again, as always, thank you for being here.
Peace, brother. One love. One love.
Yes, sir.